running onto my foot. I feel that there's been not a true investigation, because like the first investigator didn't even take a victim impact statement from me. I would have thought that's the first rule if you're going to investigate a complaint, is to take a statement from the victim. Wasn't done. So it says here on this email that contents of this message are not subject to legal rules of disclosure. And then straight after that it says that it may be unlawful. Does that mean that it is unlawful, or that it is going to be illegal? Because if it's not subject to legal rules, how can it be unlawful? So basically, because, I've found no justice through the Ministry of Justice system whatsoever. I mean, I've gone to court and challenged the actual issues that the constable had that day, and I actually got quite a favourable result. But in regards to the alarm, distress, harassment and assault that was caused upon me by Constable Winterbottom that day, I've got no justice whatsoever. And of course I'm big on the Court of Public Appeal and Public Justice, and I have a few YouTube channels that I've made all of this very public on. So clearly I want to make sure that if I choose to read out these emails from David, that it's not illegal. As it says here, it's not subject to legal rules, so am I likely to get in trouble? Because it says may, and I know may isn't a certainty, so...
No, it is, from my understanding, and I'm not kind of a specialist in this particular area.
Are you legally trained, Ruth?
My role here is more just as a complaints assessor, so...
So you're not legally trained, or you are?
I'm not giving legal advice. I'm not allowed to give legal advice.
So you're not a member of the Bar Association or legally trained to understand legalese at all? Legislation's written in legalese. It's written in legal jargon. You've got to be a lawyer to understand it, which is why you need legal representation. So I'm just asking whether or not you had the training to comprehend the legalese within this stuff.
I have been trained in the law, but I'm not a practicing lawyer.
So you've been trained in legislation?
Advice.
Okay, cool. Because, there's 30 different types of law.
Yep.
Law's an all-encompassing term, and I'm talking about legislation, not law. So, yeah, am I going to get in trouble if I go ahead and make this public? Because I'm not pleased with David's answers either. I think that just because of a monetary issue, ethics and morals shouldn't take a back seat to it.
Okay.
And David's not responded to me in the last 10 days.
Right, yeah.
So if he's not going to respond, then I'll just go ahead and consider it a tacit agreement that I can do whatever I wish.
Well, I'm not sure that that's necessarily the best way to go.
Can
I get your name so I can look up your file?
Sure. I can give you the IPCA number if you like. IPCA number is 14-1245:RJT.
Okay. And so the letter is written in under the name Mark Keane, is that right?
Yeah, that's my person.
Okay. I'll just have a look and see if I can kind of catch myself up on the file, because I'm not familiar with your particular file.
Cool. Just, I've spent 4 years studying all the different types of legal systems, lawful systems, societal structures, and I've had more than one duty solicitor get up and walk out on me because they couldn't keep up with what I was trying to tell them, even though it's their language I'm speaking. So, the whole being told it's not legal, subject to legal rules, and then in the next breath saying that it may be unlawful, well, I need to know the distinguishable difference between illegal and unlawful, for a start.
Okay, I can give you my initial response to that, but what I'd like to do is go away and have a look at it.
Sure, by all means.
My initial response would be that it's saying it's not subject to disclosure.
Yeah.
So, you understand the court, typically when you have a court process, is the process of disclosure or discovery.
No, I don't understand any of it, but I've been told that I've got the right to, as a party to the proceedings, whether I choose to represent as a person, that I do have the right to full disclosure. That's what I am understanding of. So if I write into the police and ask for any and all documentation in regards to the matter, they have to send it to me if I'm a party to it.
So, under the IPCA Act, we have certain privileges with respect to secrecy, which in certain situations mean, as my basic understanding, that disclosure may not be required or may not be allowed. So what I think...
but that's under the that's under the Police Conduct Authority Act 1988, is that? Are you there?
Yes, sorry, I'm just trying to double check the year.
I'm just reading what it says here on the email, the Independent Police Conduct Authority Act 1988. I'm just curious as to how that applies to me. I'm not acting in a public capacity. I'm not a member of the Independent Police Conduct Authority, so that has no force and effect over me whatsoever.
It's to do with the documentation, but as
okay.
I'm not particularly familiar with this area, and I'm not really prepared to give you legal advice. So
Yeah, that's fine.
my suggestion is I will go away and ask.
Yeah, I'm curious because, like I say, I've from day one, and it's mainly because I captured the initial interaction with the officer on the side of the road on film, and like I say, as I've spent a lot of time over the years studying all of this, I've made every step of the way what I've done public. Going from contacting the legal aid services to Citizen Advice Bureau to Justice of the Peaces to IPCA to North Shore District Court to, everything is online. And I've made no, because as far as I'm concerned, it's all of public interest and you guys are all acting within the public capacity, so there is no expectation of privacy in a public place. So that's kind of why I'm trying to get, why is there some, illusion that there is some sort of privacy when David's acting in a public capacity.
So I'll just double check. Is your email address?
No, and in fact I corrected that with Bill Russell the first time, because see, that's what happened. He tried to respond to the email that I first sent on the 7th of January to the IPCA. He tried to respond back to that and had no luck. Apparently he's got some issue with the mail server or something. But what I did do, because he sent it to me in a letter form in the end to respond to me, which is how I found out that the email wasn't working. My correct email, if you want to contact me on it.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll have a chat with some of the people here, ask whether or not there's anything which would preclude you from putting this information up on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did respond to this email to David, like I say, back on July the 17th here, 10 past 8 or 10 past 11 in the morning, and I did actually give him notice right at the start of the email, and I'll just read out what the notice says. It says, I, a man, do not understand legalese, legal meanings, legal terms and or customs of within the legal society, and that I rescind anything I have or have not said, or my actions and or inactions that may indicate that I'm other than a man. In other words, I'm not being a person, I'm just being a man equal to any other. So I require someone to tell me where they derive their authority to tell me what I can and can't do. If we're all equal before the law, who are they to tell me what I can and can't do?
Okay.
Do you get the concept of what I'm trying to say?
I think so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Of what you've said will be on the file.
Cool. Well, I mean, it's all being recorded anyway.
Well, I'll go away and ask about your query, and I'll get back to you via email as soon as I can, okay?
That would be fantastic, Ruth. I really appreciate your time, eh?
Not a problem. Thanks for your call, mate.
Have an awesome day.
You too. Bye.
See ya. In response to that interesting conversation, I got very promptly back, I might add, today on the 27th of July at 3 o'clock I got a response. Good afternoon. Following our telephone conversation, I have spoken with my manager. I can advise that they, so it's one manager or multiple? I can advise that they do not see any issue with you publishing the letter you received from Sir David on your YouTube channel. So, just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get in trouble from anyone, because it's not like I am. Unless I'm telling myself off, I'm not going to get in trouble with anyone. My wife's the only other one that could put my balls in a bunch. This basically means post whatever you like. Okay, I will. So,
that's the end result of the IPCA. Chase it since January, it's now July, so 6 months of emails backwards and forwards waiting, only to be insulted, disgusted and let down by the entire fucking system. And you guys can clearly tell from the video that I've posted all from day one that Neil did run over my foot. It fucking well hurt.
What she can have back. You're not walking away from me, buddy. You're not walking away from me. You're not walking away from me. Oi! What are you doing? Excuse me? Don't walk away from me. You can have this back. Don't you try and run me over, mate. Don't you dare. You're running over my foot right now. Back off. You're on my toe. Look at this. He's run. Get off my fucking toe. You're moving forward. Back up. Get off my toe. You are. Get off of my toe. You evil man. You're being done for assault.
And unfortunately, of course, they're not going to say sorry, they're not going to apologise, they're not going to accept any sort of responsibility for what he's done, because that's admitting liability and leaves himself open. You know, I'm more than happy to accept any apology and forgive anybody for their trespass upon me, as I would expect any other man or woman to forgive me for my trespasses. You know, but you know, that just goes to show, if you're a shitterson in a nation, you're fucked. They don't care, you know. Anyway, I'll leave you with it. Soon up, I'm going to be making a clip with all of the documentation, to and fro correspondence to deal with the speeding ticket and failure to produce a licence. They supplied me quite a lot. They supplied me my entire criminal history and traffic history. They supplied a lot of stuff that they didn't re-enter. And bear in mind, the clip that I'm going to put up with all the evidence, and or lack of, that New Zealand Police supplied when I asked for any and all documentations, all of the correspondence to do with any person and the police before a defended hearing doesn't mean jack shit. Alright? It doesn't matter what they send you or what you send them. Because when you walk into that defended hearing and when those doors close, that's when the matter is heard. That's when the case is presided upon. That's when Neil or whoever enters in whatever paperwork he may have supplied me beforehand. He will then re-enter it as evidence, as Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C. So it doesn't matter what scary documents, because what Neil didn't do is he didn't hand over my entire traffic history and my entire criminal history on the day of the hearing. All he did was hand over a certificate of accuracy, his competency certificate that you'll see, but he didn't hand over all of the documents that he'd supplied me. And the reason they do this, you know, they even had a certified document from someone from the NZTA saying that I'm a current licence holder. And the reason they did that is because the licence is where they derived the authority. Now, I know all of this. I'm asking them to see if they fucking know. I'm not a stupid prick. I know what I'm doing, and I really have a grasp and a comprehension of how it all works. I understand none of it, but I comprehend what's going on. So, that's coming up next. Enjoy. See you later.